Welcome to another episode of the Black Guy Who Tells podcast. I'm your host, Rod, joined as always by my co-host,
Karen.
And we are live on a Saturday morning doing feedback early. You can find us everywhere you find podcasts. Leave feedback everywhere you see in the show notes. Don't forget to leave us 5-star reviews on Apple Podcasts. The official weapon of the show is
the phone chair.
And the unofficial sport,
bullet ball.
And bullet ball extreme. And we're going to get right into y'all's feedback and all that stuff today, of course. But of course, there's people that always put in on the show.
Yay!
They donate to the show, and we got to give them a shout out.
May I have your attention? You are now listening to Charlotte's own Rod and Karen. We welcome the good folks who tie to the Black Guy Who Tips.
Yes, right. New day. New donations, new salutations. Michael W, recurring donator. Mako H, Marvin B. Yes, Marvin B. Nicole F, Asia D, Chriselle B, Annie P, Annie, I hope you're okay. Tom WJ, David from Brooklyn, Michael S, Dana R, Laura E, Nicholas Z, Jane M, Noel W, Bomani Jones from the Right Time Podcast, Pete B wraps it up with the last person for the donations. Thank you, everybody, for giving us the money. Okay, all you get is a shout out, but you don't care. You said I'm a fucking sicko for these guys. Okay,
thank you.
I just want to put something on the books. Okay, I'm out here simping for the Black Guy Who Tips, and we appreciate you. Okay, thank you. Oh man, that beat's so good. And then we have reviews. One 5-star review, one new one.
I'll take it.
It's from Lil Sean John Wayne, who says
that name.
It's a good name. For your bus driving, plane crashing, DEI hired cousin who don't vote.
That's hilarious.
Best pod in the game. Thanks, guys, for being a very crucial voice during this very important election coming up, and reminding people how we ended up with 45 in 2016. We need folks like you all to be emphatic and unequivocal, and to not let that history repeat again. I remember the contrarian voices back then that had an effect on depressing the vote. Thanks, guys. Keep up the awesome work. If you know, you know. Thank you, Lil Sean John Wayne.
Thank you.
Yeah, and honestly, like this time, I just want people to understand that I'm as convicted on this side of the line as they are on the apathy side of the line, and I'm not trying to beat them in that, like, oh, they will come around to my point of view, but I just think we allow too much space for that, and it makes it seem like, especially we as Black people, like we don't give a fuck, we don't vote, we don't care.
Right.
And that's not true, and that's
Nope.
never been true. We've literally fought and died for the right to vote, and that's not some platitude or something that I say lightly. I say that factually as a thing that actually happened.
Right. They wrote books, like it's on record. I am going out here knowing that I will die.
Yeah, people left the house knowing they would die. And so the idea that somehow Black people have become apathetic and don't care, and those are the voters we should care about, and those are the only voters that matter, and people like Charlemagne and Angela Rye and them are the soothsayer to the uneducated, apathetic Black masses. I don't fuck with that, and I don't believe that. Every state that voter suppression is happening to Black folks,
right,
it's happening against our will, because we're out there in the streets trying to make something out of nothing. So yeah, I don't fuck with that, and yeah, you won't hear it on our platform, period.
And also, like I said, that the thing that kills me, and we can move on, not only people across the board, even Black people look at other Black people like it's their fault that they live in these states that have this suppression. You know, like how can you put up with this? How can you, quote unquote, let this happen? Nobody is letting this happen. Nobody is. But if you had laws and shit that demand that this shit did not happen, we would not be in this situation. It's a collective issue, not an individual state issue. Because these white people is everywhere. Even in some of these places where you think you're safe, there's white people that think the same way they do in the South.
Yeah. So I think, it'll be coming up a lot this year because of the election year. And I'm sure to some extent we're preaching to the crowd. To some extent, we had people write in testimonials and say we changed their point of view. But I think it's important for our loud voices to be out there as loud as the voices of the people that are telling people to give up, as loud as the people that are saying it makes no difference and all the sides are the same. And if your president doesn't do every single thing you want them to do, then just go back to the drawing board and quit. Like, there needs to be some people out here against that, and people are, in this misery cycle and they're making misery content. And I've seen, salacious things posted like, voting for Biden is the same as voting for suicide. So might as well just, I think death is better than Biden and shit. And then trying to pitch that as like some type of liberation. Nah, I'm not being fooled by that. I'm not going back and forth with you, but I'm also not going to back down on the platform we have.
Right. And also, it's one of those things too where the people that are doing the right thing, the people that know the truth, a lot of times they have a tendency to be like, well, the truth is going to shine. Okay, but at the same time, the people with the falsehood, the people with the lies, they're the loudest and they're relentless. And so you need to be just as relentless about the truth. You can't just let them spew the lies and act like that's okay, because it's not. You need to be able to talk up and speak out and shit like that too. And it's also one of the things where I do understand that you can't change everybody's minds, but there are people that you can talk to that will listen to you. Now, there's some that won't. Don't waste your time, energy, or effort. But there's some people that you can talk to that are actually reasonable people.
Yeah, I think what I'm saying is on this platform that I'm not bothering with that. Like,
I feel, this is more in real life. Yes.
Yeah, and too many people they pat themselves on the back for bringing folks onto their platforms that are going to say things that they completely disagree with, just to be like, hey, man, there are black people that say don't vote, so we got them here. There's a lot of people putting that content out. If you want to go engage with it, you're fine to. But I don't want to make our show another, like Joy Reid did, where you bringing on people and talking about that shit. I really think it's a tactical mistake to do that shit a lot of times, because it's not a good faith discussion in the first place. But yeah, let's get into some of these comments on the episodes. The first episode was 2842 Planes with Seasoning. We had 3 comments on the website. Who do you think the first comment is from, Karen?
Appia.
What? How you know?
Yay.
The first 2 are from Appia. She like to leave multiple comments. She's like, why encapsulate this in one complete thought when I can like listen, come back 20 minutes later,
come on through, and they still talking about me.
Giving it, like, I appreciate you. Some people write one big block of text, and I gotta read that and try to break it up. Not obvious. She's like, here's a paragraph. Here's 2 more. All right, now I'm done. I'll see you back. If anybody replies, I'll let them know.
Yes.
So the first one is, I know that I, as a white lady from Germany, am not an expert on hip hop. What? Girl, I don't know that you're not an expert. We'll see.
You could be.
Just in case I ever write about this topic again, it's always in the back of my mind, but it's specifically Drake for me. I can appreciate new music and new hip hop by other artists. I make an effort to at least listen to 5 new artists a year or so, to not become a grumpy old lady who says, in my day, there was real music, at least yet. I want to impress my kids with at least a basic understanding of what is cool today. When Drake got famous for that reason, I tried to listen to his music multiple times because I wanted to know what the cool kids are into. Every time I tried, I drifted off, and after 30 seconds, I was thinking about my to-do list or what email I should answer, and wasn't listening to the music at all anymore. Tried again, to the same effect. Magical.
His music isn't deep music. Like, I was excited, like, it's nothing deep.
But she didn't say it has to be deep for her to like it. She just says it's forgettable to her. And I think there's a lot of non-deep music that I'm assuming she would say is not forgettable to her. She said she listens to other artists, but sometimes the artist just isn't for folks. And
Agreed.
I really do think a lot of that is an age thing. But I would, as a rap hip hop fan, as an expert on hip hop, I tire of the negativity about Drake's music, mostly because I find it to be so absurdly false. Not saying this about Appia, but just in the general discourse about him. The motherfucker clearly has a huge fan base. And just because people of my generation have decided to opt out of being in his fan base, which is fine, they have tried. And y'all know this. This is one of my triggers. I don't know why it is, but it is. They're trying to like rewrite reality and be like,
yes,
no one fucks with him, and it's like that's not true.
That is not true. He's
and
not
I don't
breaking
even
these records because nobody's fucking listening.
And I don't know why people need it to be true. It's,
right.
Man, I know it's hypervigilance of some type in my personality, but it's like I don't want to live in a QAnon world. I would like to live in like this is what has actually happened world.
Right.
And so even though it's something as simple as music and people's opinions and shit, I get to this point where people go too far and I'm like, now see, this is stupid. Like, look, no offense to Mos Def, but what he said was kind of stupid. Okay? That does, like, I love Mos Def. Great artist. But what he said, he was meant to be a bit petty and derisive. And because we're petty and derisive towards Drake, a lot of the people in my generation picked up and ran with it and started going, oh yeah, he's saying, what did he say that was wrong? Why is it even an insult? And it's like, y'all know why, because the motherfucker's hip hop, obviously.
Right.
And just because it's popular doesn't take it out of hip hop. There's all kinds of rappers and shit, actors and all kinds of shit that were and are hip hop and also are very, very popular. And we didn't take that away from all of them. Ice Cube's in movies now. We didn't take away his hip hop.
Same thing with Ice-T.
We've let people cross genres and make other. Ice-T made a rock and roll album. We didn't go, well, he's out of hip hop. Like it's just a way to be like, nah, boom, boo. We won't give you the thing you want because we know Drake more than anything. Being a child actor from Canada that took on this role of Drake and is method acting his way through life, we know more than anything it would hurt him to be seen as not part of the culture because he's literally not from this culture of hip hop in America, and he's ingratiated himself into it with his whole being. And so somebody calling him out on that is the ultimate like thing, which is why he even responded to like Mos Def on his Instagram. Because let's be frank, it is in Drake's point of view, the way he holds things with him being so far at the top of rap when it comes to sales, it should be beneath him to even address any rapper that hasn't put an album out in 20 years saying anything in an interview. Like that's like someone talking to DJ Vlad. Drake should be like, who gives a fuck? But he hit the trigger of Drake, which is I did all this shit going like Megan said, posting up at other people's hoods. I did all this shit to be seen as American black rap guy. And here comes one interview and it sends shockwaves throughout the zeitgeist because it hit on exactly what the one thing I want and that can always be taken away from me is.
Agreed. And it's one of those things where he's like a lightning rod for a lot of people. For me, I don't care, but for a lot of people, he is. And, I feel like this, if it's not your jam, it's just not your jam, and be truthful with yourself and just admit that. But just because it's not your jam and the people that you fuck around with, people act like, well, since me and my crew ain't listening to it, nobody listening to it. And that's not true. That's not a true statement.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm not pushing back at your specific taste. If you say it's forgettable to you, that's fine.
Yes.
I just feel like it's more of a reflection of your taste than it is a reflection of the discussion that was being had about hip hop and Mos Def and Drake. The talk about submission or whatnot is so far into my life. Mr. Appia and I both work and try to share the household stuff somehow. Same with taking care of kids and managing money stuff. When I have to work on Saturday like this week, a medical convention, it's clear that he will take care of the kids. Same the other way around. We both have demanding jobs and try to keep the show running from morning to evening somehow. With everything that is coming up in life, life is so complex. We need two equal players, us, to make it. When one of the players can't be here because of work, the other one has to step in. It's of course lots of work, but we are financially independent, and I didn't lose any rights or career opportunities since I'm a mother. My parents are also helping us with the kids for their generation. They are pretty progressive and are happy that I have a career in my own money, and I wouldn't want it any other way. Yeah, congrats. That sounds like a dope situation for you. And yeah, I mean, same thing in our house. It's not that shit is not a discussion in our house. We've never even had to have the discussion the other way around of like, Karen had to come in. I'm not gonna be submitting to you because I find that stuff to be so fucking silly.
Ain't it dumb
and sad, honestly.
Yes.
And
because it's a control thing.
And I know many won't see it the way I see it, but I also find it to be anti-Black. And just that in America, that has never been a reality for Black folks, and it's not something we should want. I don't know why people think they should want that, and it's giving a lot of men this level of entitlement to where they make $44,000 a year, and then they like, "Why won't this woman submit to me?" Right. And it's just like, what's happening? Right. What's happening in your head? Why are you so obtuse to the way of the world? Because most people don't even make submission money to be talking crazy like that to somebody that also has to go out that fucking house and work.
Right, just like you do.
Not that like I said, even if you made that money, I don't even know why that would be your goal or your want to have, like, hire a fucking maid. But right. Get the girlfriend experience from a sex worker. If all you're about is like, since I have the money, you should have to do what I want. Like, if that's all you want, you don't want an equal, you don't want a human being, you don't want somebody you can have a conversation with.
Nope.
It's fucking crazy. Anyway, people are fucking awesome. Ramsey says, I just wanted to say I saw Rod on Karen Hunter via YouTube clip. The clip was titled "Why Native Land Pod Getting a Lot of Heat." A great discussion between you and Miss Karen Hunter. Thank you. Yeah, a lot of people saw that clip, and look, man, Karen Hunter put them clips on YouTube, or whoever puts them on. I think she said before that other people decide which clips go on there. But we always get people that come over check our podcast out from that. My family, my friends will hit me up and be like, "Hey, saw you on YouTube." I don't know if they got the alert going or what.
I don't know, but Karen be out there and it be flowing.
Yeah, they got the Nubia chat. Like, she has built a community over there.
Yes, she has.
And once again, man, like, say what you want to about the personalities of people on their shows and stuff, right? I'd say the truth will always come out in the fans.
Yes.
The kind of fans you have tell the truth about what kind of person you are.
Because they're a reflection of you.
And her fans have been nothing but like gracious, funny, like coming over, being inclusive. They don't be judging us because we say nigga over here and stuff. I'm sure some of them didn't come over because of that, but whatever. Right. They're not making it a problem, is my point. They like, hey, that's them over there. And what Karen Hunter has built over there is like a dope community. And so yeah, I'm always happy to like, no, we never had a crossover that turned bad. Like, no one's come over here and been like, I saw you on Karen Hunter, fuck you, nigga. Like, it's always like, oh man, you were great, or we love you. And she's been super welcoming and inviting with that platform.
Yes.
And yeah, I'm very appreciative. Let's see if we have any comments on YouTube real quick. One comment from Quarter Ton Activities, who says, "Hey, Rod and Karen, I wanted to comment on one of the things you said today on your show. You were talking about weight. I think when you do an activity or sport or something physical in front of people and you're not what they think you should look like, it makes them feel uncomfortable. I ride an exercise bike on a racing app called Zwift, ZWIFT. And because I win a lot and at the size that I am, I would constantly get accused of cheating. I started my YouTube channel because I wanted to show heavier people like me that you could have fun losing weight if you found something that made you feel good and excited about it. Most of my comments that I get on my channel are great, but I still get the cheating ones or somebody who's upset that I may be in the wrong category. The one thing that I learned about bike racing is that it's only about your power. It's also about your weight, which is called W/kg, weight per kilogram. Also, I wanted to say thanks for a great show. My wife and I came up on September 9th from Atlanta to see y'all live show. Aww. We took a picture with y'all. We were a couple in the Falcons jerseys. I don't remember you because thanks y'all for having a great show. I always wanted to give feedback, but by the time I get home, you talked about so many things. I wanted to give feedback that my feedback would be 5 books long. P.S. If you ever want to race on the app, I have a YouTube channel. You can see what it's like at Quarter Time Activities. Maybe one day I'll see you on there. I know you had a Peloton at one time. Oh, we still got it.
Yeah, we still got it. We need to get back on it.
Karen don't use it. I know you had a Peloton one time. Have a great, blessed day. Thank you, fam.
Thank you. Yes, I need to get back on it.
It's all good. It's all good. I use it sometimes. But I've just been going to the gym. It's been more. I don't know why. It's for my mind. It's easier to put it in the routine than the stuff I do at the house. I don't know fucking why. I'll get in a good groove around the house, but something about getting in the car, driving to another location and doing shit is just, I don't know, click something different in my mind. I did do my first personal training session yesterday. Probably talk about that either on another episode or on the pregame or something. But I love and live this experience of people not understanding that just because I look a certain way doesn't mean that I can't be athletic. And honestly, like, that's the thing I missed since the pandemic, especially. It's the thing I miss the most. It's not really about like how I look or even just like looking at the scale. Although I'm sure those things will be affected by the stuff that I'm doing. But the main thing for me is like, I miss the feeling confident and playing basketball and being good at it. And like I said, I went out there after basically 2 years of not playing any basketball, not doing anything really except maybe some walks and some VR exercises. And man, I was washed. It's a totally different muscle situation. It's a totally different coordination situation. And for the last 2 months, I've been going around to the gym and just shooting around and doing stuff at the YMCA. And I'm already getting some of it back, handles and jump shot coming back, but it's still not the same as live playing basketball, running up and down that court live and just having to struggle through the conditioning and all that shit. But anyway, my point being, like, I've been running into some people that I used to play ball with, and they're all like, man, we gotta play ball. We gotta do this. So, I might try to see if I can get something like that together. But I've lived that my whole life of people looking at me and assuming one thing and they just don't fucking know. You know what I mean? Like, hey, I go to the doctor, I did my, my health checkups and stuff like that.
People just assume you don't care about yourself, and that's not a true statement.
Yeah, and I'm, I understand that, what people's assumptions are when they look at me, but it's at the same time, it's like, well, my checkup's coming back clear. If I have an issue or issues, it's not like, oh my God, you're just killing yourself with this weight. Like, that wasn't the issue. But that being said, coming out of the pandemic and literally not doing shit for a couple years is a different reality. So I just want to get back to that feeling and back to that, that ability, for me, I would just love to be able to play ball, hop on the court and not worry about it again. So I feel you is what I'm saying. I've had people challenge me. I had people single me out. I've had people that you can see that smirk on their face, like, oh, I'm about to fucking score on this fat guy, and then they be fucking amazed when they get ripped or they get crossed over or some shit. Then all of a sudden it's like, oh damn, he can play. And it's like, yeah, bitch. All right, let's go to the poll. Have you ever used silent mode on the microwave? Yes or no?
No.
8% kind of say yes, 92% say no.
I didn't even know it was an option to the last few years.
Child, me neither. And on Spotify, 7%. So about the same percent, about 93.5%, 6.5%.
Most people go like, you should have said silent mode.
Yeah.
That should have been
well, I had to ask because people did write in and say they knew about it. So I figured how many people use it. It was just a joke for me, but people was kind of serious about that thing. The Q&A, let me get a dime bag on pump 3. Josh says, what does a dime bag get you at the pump? I don't know. Ignacio says, I got these 2 cheeseburgers, baby. James says, oh great, now imagine if they put an AI version of Rick James promoting snorting caffeine by him saying caffeine is a hell of a drug. Hashtag what white horse nonsense is this?
Oh no.
Lee says, I tried to buy pure caffeine last year, but I couldn't find any to make my own pre-workout drink. Then I thought about it. That was a bad idea, but Turbo Sport does sound enticing. Leash girl, be careful out here. All right. I won't be reading about you. Y'all gonna be working out at the gym, just start bleeding out the nose and all this shit.
Yeah, we concerned about your health and safety. What is this, baby?
Yeah, I mean, they don't. Can't you just take a shot of that Panera Bread lemonade? Can't you just take one shot of that and get all the caffeine you need for the next week?
No, child, we don't need just nothing up your nose.
Dizzy Lizzy said, also, like, as a black person, I'm not carrying this around with me.
Right, to me get arrested for carrying cocaine.
I already know they gonna tase and shoot me and then be like, oh, this nigga had caffeine in his pocket. Look like cocaine to me, open and shut case.
Right.
Dizzy Lizzy gal says, if it's not weed, then it's drugs, and I don't do drugs. Crack is whack, baby. I hear you. I think the great Whitney Houston said that. Key Taylor says, not Tim Scott quoting Fannie Lou Hamer to enforce Donald Trump talking about being sick and tired of being sick and tired. Sweet Jesus, lace up your sandals and come on back. It's time, ain't it? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I forgot even to bring up that point that the quote is from a black woman activist who absolutely would not have fucked with Trump. Roger says, I know Tim Scott's throat was on fire to doing his deacon voice.
It was burning.
Yeah. You know, he reminded me of the Cosby Show when Rudy was singing that baby.
Yes.
Like the way he changed his voice, baby. I'm sick and tired. I'm like, you don't talk like this.
This is not you, sir.
Any other time you're like, and Donald Trump is, then I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. What's wrong with that nigga? Raphael says, now I just want you to know why I was not yet the only option, Rod. You really on that Cat Williams energy, sir. Got me staring at the polls like Shannon. Hell no, what? I don't even remember what the poll was. Introvert M says, is accidentally getting cola in your nose the same thing as cocaine like Sprite because it's caffeine free? Sorry, this edible is hitting. Okay, Introvert M. We gotta see if the edible's working. Joy says, I almost clicked not yet. I'll stick to the charged lemonade. I guess on the poll I must have said, have you ever snorted caffeine yet? Oh shit, my bad. I'm looking at the wrong poll results and everything. God damn
shit.
It.
What happened?
So I was on the chicken wing economy episode and not the seasoning on the plains of seasoning episode.
Oh, that's what. Okay, that's why the statement didn't make no sense.
Yeah, maybe I had two tabs open because it definitely had silent mode on the microwave for the poll, and then the Q&A. Oh, the Q&A was Jason Whitlock. Please stop writing into the show because we had that one person that kept. So that's my bad, y'all. Anyway, I guess I won't have to do that Q&A later. But this Q&A is Jason Whitlock, please stop writing into the show. Keith Taylor says, the Drake conversation still makes me laugh. All the things y'all seen, Bay said, shopping with the edge is the funniest part. So many SKUs, it's the new nice gowns, beautiful gowns. Oh, absolutely. That's what I hate was missed because everyone hated Drake so much that they took it too serious. And I think we lost how much fucking Mos Def is one of the funniest motherfuckers on the planet.
He's hilarious.
Motherfucker is so fucking funny. Like interviews, podcasts. He was even like a recurring role on the Chappelle Show. Like that motherfucker is so fucking funny. And that's what was killing me was how funny it was as a takedown, not how true or not true it was. Right. I already know Mos Def's perspective about commercial music, but man, he killed him. So good. And it's just, and honestly, that's what humor is. That's why humor is so dangerous, because Mos Def does not check off any of the boxes in which Drake should be concerned or respond to. But it was so funny, he had to. Nah, I love it. Alicia Asidu says, exactly. Social media is great until people get on. Pinterest was my jam for a long time. Now the comments look like all the other social media comments. Just a bunch of trolls and haters, right? The key is keeping it small. That's why people don't understand when we be like, nah, we don't want the most fans. We just want the cool people. And it's always counterintuitive because it's like, shouldn't everybody want the most? I mean, a like is the same to the algorithm as a hate, and a negative comment counts the same as a good comment. I'm like, yeah, if you have the mental health to be that kind of person and just deal, like, I don't mind being misunderstood and called out my name. I do mind. I don't have that thick of skin. I would like to just dealing a reality based in like this is what people really think.
Agreed.
And maybe it's unrealistic. Maybe we're on a path at some point where it'll be too big. But for me, this is perfect right here. I don't need it to be a million people listening just so they can motherfuck me.
Yes, sir.
In my Karen voice, who? Says Olamni. He said he don't know who.
Come on through, who?
So yeah, I kind of fucked up the comments there a little bit, but we're gonna get back on track and go to the next episode, which is 2843, the chicken wing economy. And we had 7 comments. Shoe Booty was first. She says, "Oh my God, just do coke like a grown up. This is embarrassing." So this is when we talked about the caffeine.
Just do coke like a grown up, right?
Yeah, this is
I'm
when
here doing fake drugs and fucking up your nose hairs.
This is when we talked about the caffeine. So that's why I fucked up. I got us a little out of order. I hope I didn't fuck up too much for y'all. I hope y'all can follow it. Abia says, "I agree with everything Ross said about politics, like everything. Okay, I'm skeptical about cheap meat because I always think about how it was produced and I don't like what I see in my mind. Otherwise, about people who love to panic, I see it the same way and I can also get anxious, so I don't listen to them." Yes. It's bad, man. Like I said, I be seeing shit on social media. I just try not to comment on it. But some of the stuff I see, it's like, what's wrong with you? You know, like how long you gotta be wrong and keep trotting this out here? Like, are you? And this is not even a joke. This is not an insult. Are you depressed?
Yeah, a lot of people are.
Do you know what I'm saying? Is social media affecting your mental health? You log on and the first thing you want to be like is, here's all the negative things that are gonna happen forever and nothing good will ever happen again. Like, I don't know, man. It's something to look into. I know I was. So I if it can happen to me, I'm speaking from experience. I feel like the shit is happening to a lot of people that just maybe they don't want to admit it. Maybe they feel like it's a weakness or something to admit that shit. But it definitely was happening to me when I was on there doom scrolling and shit. It changed my outlook. It changed my point of view. It made me sad. It made me angry. It made me feel lonely. It was depressing. And to go into it without the awareness or to think I'm above that, I'm different, I be online all the time, but it don't never affect me, is kind of some bullshit, you know, especially when you're interacting and reading and going back and forth with people. That's a big part of it. You know, one of the reasons I don't really go back and forth with most people now is because and this isn't an insult to them, but they're not worth it. Nope. It's not worth my mental health to be going back and forth with you. You say some shit I disagree with, okay. You know, especially if I don't know you, we don't have no relationship. Okay, so you said some things. You know, there's things where people see somebody say something, and then the first thing is, let me hop in their mentions and tell them why they wrong. I'm good. That's your point of view, you know. But I think we're lonely, but we're also seeking company, and that misery and company shit is real.
It is, but and also has a lot to do with your personality and how you interact and things like that. And like I say, nobody is above it. And like I said, being online and the interaction and the dopamine hit and the high that you get off of it, people are addicted to it, regardless of if they tell the truth to themselves or not. You know, because if it wasn't something for any social media across the platform, if there wasn't something that benefited you, you would not continue to do it. So, you know, it's one of those things where you're benefiting from something, even though for some people it's harming them, you know. And so, and because it's kind of a drug, you know, just like people who do like, you know, the hard drugs and shit like that, but we can point our fingers and shame them and tell them there's something wrong with them when, you know, we are addicted to, you know, to something different. No, it's not. You can't see it in your eyes or your skin or your health and shit like that. It eventually will show up in your health for some people, but it's an addiction is an addiction in my mind. I know some people want to put addiction on various levels, you know, and I get that, but an addiction, quote unquote, is addiction. If you told most people who spend a lot of time on social media, put that motherfucker down and turn and delete their apps, they would have a breakdown. They would have a mental breakdown because it's an addiction.
Right. And I'm not trying to be addicted to no social media, okay? First of all, I make you sleepy and tired all the time. And that's why I do cold caffeine. Woo, baby! One hit of this caffeine. And let me tell you, you're going to be you're gonna be up all night. Okay, you're not gonna be arguing with the people other than the people in your head. So make sure you guys do turbo snort. Okay,
No, sir. We do not.
This
The Black Guy
episode
Who
is
Tip does
sponsored.
not promote and or sponsor this bullshit. No.
This episode is sponsored by Turbo Snort.
No, it is not. People, do real drugs. No, thank you. Don't be doing no fake drugs. You gonna get high, bitch.
Caffeine is a drug. Ramsey
No,
says,
I'm talking about like cocaine. Like if
well,
you
I'm
go
saying
do cocaine.
caffeine is a real drug. And, I know what you're talking about.
Mhm.
But caffeine is a real drug.
Drink coffee then.
I'm drinking coffee and I'm
No.
filled it with Turbo Snort.
No, not talking about snorting. No. Get you a regular ass cup of Joe and chug that bitch.
You don't drink coffee, you don't know what you're talking about. Taste the power.
I drink sodas and shit. They got cocaine in it. Not cocaine in it. The shit. Caffeine in it too.
You don't drink no caffeine sodas. Let's be honest.
I do.
How many
Cold.
How many sodas you got in there?
I don't have no
0,
sodas in
right.
there.
But guys, one of us knows the drug game, and one of us tries to pretend.
But I do drink it every now and then. I don't drink as much as I used to.
I'm gonna need some more caffeine if you keep
No.
talking like this, because the only thing that's gonna get me through this segment is some more caffeine. Hold on a second, there.
I'm gonna have to smack the drugs out your hand, to smack the caffeine out your hand.
All right, let's go. Woo!
No, child, no, I'm gonna smack that
Are
focus out your
Are
hand.
your teeth tingling?
No,
Okay,
nor is my skin crawling.
Ramsey says the Blackout Tips banter. Tell me what's going on. Tell me what's on your mind. Is so good. The way I cackled during the announcement of Tim Scott's engagement. Dave Chappelle, please let us enjoy and rewatch Club Shay Shay featuring Micah Cat Williams. 5 stars and plenty of flame emojis for this episode. Thank you. Carmen J says Scarface clause, blessing the kids. Mary says I totally agree with the feeling that Trump gives his supporters. Our boy Ezra had a Republican poster on the other day. Yeah. The Ezra Klein show. I listen to that all the time, and I heard that episode too. On the other day, and when asked about what Trump's appeal is, she said he doesn't make you feel bad about being a racist, bigot, misogynist. Like he's saying, you're not a bunch of deplorables, you're fine. People want to feel vindicated and like they're good people. We're doomed. Yes, that is my point, and that's why you can't nail it down to like a single issue,
right?
A policy or whatever, because he could literally change his opinion or say the opposite of that, as he has done many times, the next day, and he'll still get the cheers and the support. So now we have to start looking at what are they really cheering for, because say what you want to about Democrats, even the ones that are like the naysayers and I'm just gonna stay home or whatever. At least they claim, at least there's a deeper point I could go into. I'm just gonna save it, but many of them will claim and seem to exercise it is about policy.
Yeah,
this policy.
No policy. Though.
This policy isn't getting passed. I'm not supporting this shit, or I don't like it, or I'm complaining. It's one of the reasons I'm not telling people let's all be rah Joe Biden, rah the Democrats. If you have issues, you should raise them, because I've seen his administration address issues and change stances with enough pressure on them.
Right.
It doesn't mean that you're going to get everything. It doesn't mean he'll change his stance on everything. But I've seen what other people would be like, no, don't complain about that, turned into student loan forgiveness, medical debt clearance, diversifying your judges and your and things like this. So like having a quote unquote woke military, as the Republicans put it. But so we've seen the pressure work. So I'm not telling people not to, but what they're doing over there, that's not about policy or politics. There's no principle there. It is simply, he is a symbol of hatred for us, and we hate so much because they really hate themselves. The pink superhero says, I can see the benefits of having sister baby mothers. First of all, I feel like that phrase needs some, we got to punch that phrase up, because that shit sounds like some incest, lesbian
Yes,
porn.
we got big family happening over there, don't we?
Yeah, it sounds like some incest shit. Sister baby mothers. What? Everybody got 11 toes over there? What's going on? Anyway, but what she's saying is fellow, like other baby mothers at the same time, because we had that TikTok star who got like 5 or 7 women pregnant and threw a baby shower for all of them at the same time. And they were, basically telling us why I was fine. I can see the benefit of having a sister baby mother. So many families don't have anyone they can turn to. Each one of these ladies has 4 built-in babysitters. I just love how Pink Superhero immediately turned them all into labor.
Yes.
They're no longer mothers and individuals. They are all now supplemental labor for each other. And I'm not saying that's not accurate or fair or whatever. Right. It's just funny that we didn't go, they have emotional support for this, da-da-da. Also, interesting how the man never enters the equation. Like the assumption is this man is never going to be enough to be, what he needs to be to support all these women. I feel like that's the underlying assumption. So we immediately go to but the women they'll provide the support that a man
they got
never
their own
does.
built-in support system.
Because, men don't do that. And him having them 5 babies is clearly proof that he ain't going to do that. So I don't know. I just find all of it funny. I mean, people are in consenting situations, and if they all consenting and they think that's a good idea, more power to them. This is the one time that most of the progressive polyamorous people will kind of flinch up, because this is the most old school patriarchal way of that.
It hits at the core of it,
of the polyamory. It's the antiquated man's rights incel dream, right? It's the I'm one man, I'm fucking all these women, they having my kids, and they all cool with each other because I tell them to be. And it's the one that pushes everything to the test, because it's like, I believe consenting adults can do whatever they want, but damn, nigga, this some Old Testament shit you doing right now. Like, blink, ladies, if you're okay. Like, is everybody doing? If you're not okay, if somebody raise your hand if you need us to get you out of here. But hey, it's they consenting adults, as far as we know, and they putting enough shit on social media that I assume when this shit and if this shit fall apart, we'll know.
It's a high probability, yes,
because these motherfuckers did this shit for TikTok, which means it's content, which means
everything fallout else is gonna be content.
The fallout be content too. No one like to talk about that shit, but the fallout be content too for all these folks putting us in their business.
And eventually, like a lot of shit, these children eventually will become adults, will get online, will be teenagers, and they're gonna begin to voice their opinions and shit like that too.
But sincerely, good luck to them. If they like it, I love it.
Same.
EVE says, even though Cat Williams didn't have anything negative to say about Dave, I think Dave may have had bone to pick with Cat based on a previous interview. Cat never named any comedian specifically, but he was asked about cancel culture and how comedians aren't allowed to make jokes anymore. Cat's response was he doesn't believe that because times change and there are things people used to say that was okay that aren't anymore. And if a comedian can't adapt to the times, are they even funny? The way Dave has been going on about the LGBTQ community in all of his latest stand-up routines, he may have taken that personally, but that could just be pure speculation on my part. It's kind of sad Dave seems to care so much about Black people issues, but refuses to see there are also Black LGBTQ members. I agree with everything you just said, and I forgot about that interview, but I'm sure Dave's aware of it just because it went so viral, because it came at a moment when people were using that interview to shit on Dave Chappelle. It's kind of ironic that at the end of the day, Dave and Kat have a lot of admiration for each other stand-up, or just each other as stand-ups, considering they seem so ideologically opposed. But I know I have those relationships in my life too, where I'm like, I respect what this person does, I respect their platform, or I have an affinity for them. They remind me of my folks and the people I grew up with, but ideologically we see the world differently. And I am working on being more understanding and forgiving of myself on that, because I'm not a person that believes in we disagree about this, get the fuck out of here. Like, that's never been the way I've operated my life.
Agreed.
And so, and I think it's unrealistic and a very performative to try to put that vibe out to everybody. And I'm sure there are lines, I'm human like everybody else, that there's a line where I'm like, okay, I can't fuck with you. But that my line is a lot more lenient than it is dogmatic or whatever. So I can see how they have respect for each other's work, but Kat has a different point of view than Dave. And yeah, Dave might have took that personal, because I definitely remember people sending that at Dave Chappelle, like, look at this shit. This a real comedian. This what you got to remember is they're coworkers essentially. And Kat has a lot of reverence for Dave. He may feel like what Dave's saying does not qualify as this.
Possibility, yeah.
You know, he may have had some completely different comedians in mind when he said this shit.
Because he didn't name names.
Because he didn't say anyone's names. And so we don't know. And also, Kat be talking a lot of shit. So who knows if how seriously Kat took that. We've already established the shade. Oh, one last thing. And also, like, a lot of the support for Kat came from that interview on social media. There are people that are Cat Williams fans more now because of that interview than they are because of his stand-up.
Agreed. That's something I haven't watched his stand-up in years.
Yeah, and I think if you go watch his stand-up, there's still some antiquated stuff. There's still some not progressive type stuff. There's still some, like, because that's comedy, you find the line. So I don't even know that Cat wants to be like the progressive icon Cat Williams. I think he wants to be funny more than anything. Did you laugh? Did you have a good time at my show? That's what the fuck I promise when you buy a ticket. That's what the fuck. That's what the stand-up specials are trying to attempting to do. And at the end of the day, that's the same thing Dave Chappelle specials are attempting to do. Is this idea of like, I'm here to entertain you. I think he really got caught up in this LGBTQ stuff because that was the first time he ever really had anybody in his storied career be like, "You're not entertaining us. This is not. I refuse to let you be a clown about this." And that's where I think he got stuck. Is he's like, I'm Bugs Bunny, I should get up here and be able to say any fucking thing. And it's like, yeah, that I hear you. You're on stage, you're a comedian, you should be able to say anything. We shouldn't have to take it seriously. We shouldn't try to dissect everything. But for Dave specifically, a lot of times you cross over that line and you stop making jokes and you start making speeches and you start trying to make serious points.
Mm-hmm.
And when you play with that line, you're playing with another standard to a lot of people as far as emotionally and intelligently. They're like, okay, now you're speechifying. Now you're trying to bring us down to TED Talk level. Well, now I got TED Talk standards. So you can't just be like, you know, I'm gonna take my dick off and I'm gonna go to prison for trans people. Ha ha. And then later be like, no, I'm telling you, black people, people, you mixing messages.
Yes, that's the problem that a lot of people have with Hassan Minhaj, if I'm pronouncing his name right, was the fact that, yes, he was telling jokes, then all of a sudden you started putting out pictures and showing graphs and photos, and people go, oh, we're being serious now. And then you turn around and be like, no. Well, then no, bitch, you're blending genres and you acting like I'm the fucking food for holding you to a higher standard.
I came around on the Hassan Minhaj thing, but yeah, that's always going to be the problem. You're trying to live in two worlds and it's hard.
Right.
And you got like, so anyway, I think both things are true. Dave is not as serious as his critics would like him to be, but Kat's not as progressive as his supporters would like him to be on social media. And it's kind of like the truth is in between with both of them.
Mm-hmm.
We've already established that shame no longer exists, but I would be so embarrassed if one of my 5 baby mamas was pregnant from a guy if I was one of 5 baby mamas pregnant from a guy who has 4 other women pregnant at the same time. There's absolutely no way I share the baby shower with any of them. Don't secrets exist anymore?
No, apparently no.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That is a weird thing for me, but you know, people do shit different, and like I said, the gender of it is what's gonna fuck everybody up because you know we're quick to be like, listen, if that's consenting adult, they can do that. But once you start throwing in that patriarchy, it's like, are the women actually free? What's happening? But yeah, the poll was, have you ever snorted caffeine? Yes or no? 100% no. Interesting. We only got one heart emoji comment on our YouTube page for this episode from the home I create. Thank you.
Aww.
We appreciate you.
I like hearts.
And I guess I did make the poll different on Spotify. That's what they were saying. I said yes or not yet, meaning
Yes or not
Yeah.
yet. That's hilarious.
And that was the dime bag on Pump 3. So we're all caught up. Let me play some music so I can throw some commercials at y'all. We got to make money over here. All right, let's go to the next episode. Hold up. Wait. Episode 2844, Lupe versus Cuddy. 3 comments. Apia left the first 2. I never had to take any drug test. Oh, you never had to take no drug test.
The privilege.
But you work for Big Pharma.
Isn't
that
drug
interesting?
Testing you.
They don't
You
drug
do the
test
drug.
the drug testers.
Right? They don't drug test the testers.
You deal the drugs.
You don't have to be tested.
You don't have. They know you own the drugs, so they don't. Okay, I find that a little suspicious. That's all I'm saying.
Big drug Apia.
I'm just saying. Sound kind of interesting. You know who else they never drug tested? Gus Fring on Breaking Bad. Okay, they didn't need to drug test him. But yeah, she says, I think they are unconstitutional here, unless it's about driving under influence or you are a pro athlete. Your employer can't test you. Thanks for both scores. I just know that the KATG page can't be reached from certain Wi-Fi, like from some venues, because of bad language, and your site creates no problems. Girl, that's just because they don't
flag us.
No, Karen be trying to finish my sentences and fucking up my jokes, guys. I'm sorry. It's a thing. It's been 3,000 episodes. She's almost never right.
I ain't gonna change.
It's not gonna stop. Now the momentum of the joke's been ruined. But I was gonna say that's because they don't care about black people. Because we are definitely using bad language all over our page. One of the last episodes for the pregame was called, like, for the Ballsy Sports was called literally de-niggifying the YMCA. There's no way that should pass the standards. But they don't check the black people stuff over there. They like, it's only 3 of y'all. They all named Dorothea. What's the point of checking? Abia says, having any butt at all was seen as bad in the 90s for white women. I know. It was really the bane of my existence. I hated it for y'all. It was bad. Because also, like, it's sad because it also led to this other side effect, which is white men were so fucking strict about white women's bodies and what they needed to be, like anorexic to be attractive, basically.
Right.
That it then led to a generation of white women that think they have big butts that don't.
They really don't.
And I don't mean to be rude, but there's nothing sadder than someone be like, I have a big butt, and then you look and you're like, it's not big. Like, I don't mean to, like, it's not like, you drew attention to it, not me. I wasn't trying to be like looking at ass.
I wasn't paying no
but
attention.
Man, these motherfuckers are lying.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's 2 people that be lying to white women about having big butts, and it's giving them fucked up complex. It's white men that for some reason are obsessed about that shit, and then black dudes that's trying to fuck, they'll lie and be like, she got a big old butt, and you're like, no, you don't, nigga. You think telling her that is gonna ingratiate you, and no. Stop. Because now we got people walking around and you see they butt and you be like, oh, they lied. Why did they lie to you? Right. Who told you that? And Tyrone? Right.
Yeah,
was
fake
he trying,
news, ma'am.
Was he buying your shots? Was he trying to fuck? Yeah. All right. Tyrone just likes white women, guys. He's grading on that white women curve. And the white women curve, the ironic part is a white women curve, you don't gotta have no curves. That's what's crazy. They be like, she curvy to me. I'm like, if you look through a looking glass or a mirror, like, come on, man. You don't have to lie to people. But they do.
I like what you like, love what you love.
But yeah, so you got double the hangups is my point. And don't be a racist white woman. Now you got triple the hangups. Cause you like, why the fuck do these black men like keep looking at my big butt? Oh my God, I have to lose weight so the black men won't be attracted to me, and only the pure Aryan white kings, the vanilla kings, will be the only ones who want me. It's fucking crazy. And then fast forward 20 years, all the beauty standards changed. Now we like, you ain't got no ass, you assless motherfucker. And it's like, God damn,
what happened, right?
What happened?
That was a shock to the system.
Julia Roberts was the shit at that time. And she thought she had a big old ass and that it was unattractive. And now fast forward, she's like, should I get ass injections? Well, no one cares about my ass no more. I thought I would be in. No. So I can understand Julia Roberts' insecurity if she had a butt bigger than a child's. My butt is middle size, a good M, and I think it was considered too big. EVE says, I must be on the Stanley Cup side of TikTok because I've been hearing a lot about them. They retail for just over $45, and the whites have been going crazy over them. They had a partnership with Starbucks and Target this past month for Pink Valentine's tumblers, and people were lining up outside the stores before they opened and fighting over them like Black Friday. Ooh. It was so embarrassing. It was apparently one of the most popular gifts for teenage girls this Christmas, and some schools are thinking about banning them because some kids are getting bullied for not having them. Yeah, it's really that deep for some people. Yes, and I say this all the time. Where are the white parents?
Where are they at? Where the white dads?
It's honestly a shame to see what's happening in their culture. But that's what happens when you lose sight of Jesus.
And Jesus is the reason.
That's what happens when y'all just over there being heathens. But I wouldn't know anything about that coming from a wholesome Black community. But I will say that there was a viral video of a woman whose car caught on fire. Everything on the inside was burned to a crisp except for a Stanley Cup, and there was still ice in it. Yeah, I saw that video on Three Guys On. They also
that's hilarious.
Bought that woman a new car. The Stanley people bought her a new car. And
that was great promotion for that goddamn cup.
Here's what I think happened. She totaled her car, went and got a Stanley Cup, put some cold stuff in it, put it in the car, and was like, look, y'all, the Stanley Cup, I need a new car. And they said, oh yeah, this is a great ad. And I think that's what happened. I think she lied. That's an ad, viral ad for Big Stanley. Big Stanley sound like a 90s comedian from Comedy View.
Yes. Coming to the stage, Big Stanley.
Give it up for Big Stanley.
Give it up for Big Stanley, all the way out of Newark, New Jersey. Big Stanley. Come on, folks.
I can attest to the sturdiness of Stanley because I bought a $20 Stanley thermos before the craze a couple years ago, and I went camping. I put ice in that thing at the beginning of the weekend. There was still ice in it 5 days later, but you won't catch your girl fighting to buy a damn tumbler cup as an aesthetic. I haven't even really been judging the Stanley people. I mean, I wouldn't stand in line for the cup, but nigga, I've stood in some lines for some things.
I have too. Video games for the Dreamcast. We stood at the Fayetteville Mall down in Fayetteville, North Carolina, day one for the Dreamcast, bitch. We was out there standing in line for the fucking KB toy store. The only thing in the mall open.
If you ever fucking stood in line at midnight in the hood at a fucking EB Games, GameStop, whatever it's called now, if you ever did that shit for Madden or the Xbox, hey man, you can't judge these people.
Or an iPhone, you sure can't judge.
I know it feels more useful, but is it really more useful than something you're gonna drink out of every day? I don't know. I'm just saying, I know I've definitely risked my motherfucking life to get NBA 2K because the GameStops was always in the hood in the area I live in. So
right.
I was not driving to the white people GameStop. I was up the street being like, man, I hope I'm not the one to get followed home and be on the news.
Right, and you didn't never go straight home. You stop, because you be there so fucking early in the morning. You stop at McDonald's. You make sure you drive, out of town and loop around. You be like, no, bitches, you ain't gonna catch me. I'm not going straight to the house.
Yep. And so let's see. Any comments on this episode? Lupe vs. Cuddy on YouTube. Let's see. One comment. Alicia Nicole says, I don't even smoke, but one night I went out and forgot I had a Walmart interview coming up. I thought the smoke would cause a positive test, so I drank a gallon of water with yellow Sure Gel and passed, but quit 3 months later. Damn. Man, you went through all that for a job you wasn't going to make it past the 90 days.
I want to say most of these jobs do not need to be drug. They just don't. They just don't need to be drug tested.
And I don't even know what Sure Gel is. What is that? You know, Karen?
I have no idea.
Gel. Woo! I'm looking it up. Oh, sure. Is Jello? Is it Sure Gel with Jell? I guess so. That's what it looks like. Gelatin, premium fruit pectin. Okay, this is a whole different rabbit hole. Then what is drug test? Damn, that shit came up too. Certo Sure Gel to pass a drug test. Worth trying? Okay, listen. Your boy is not steeped in the drug game as I thought. I shouldn't have picked on Karen earlier.
Yeah, I know I'm a square.
Okay, I'm new to the sniffing caffeine. Okay, the poll was: have you ever tried to cheat a drug test? Okay. And the poll results are 15% yes, 85% no. Now the next question: did it work? That's the real one.
That's the real one. No, I've been asked for my pee, and I was like,
well, that's not the same.
No, ma'am.
Yeah, and you said no.
No.
Wow. Well, we all know Karen is not a ride chick. She's not a die. She's a ride, not a die chick.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not going to jail. They find out that's my pee or some shit. I'm good, homie.
Yeah, she's not gonna give you
child, you better go ask another friend. I'm not that friend.
Yeah, we know, Karen. We know. You never would.
Never.
You just because why do both of us need to go to jail?
Why? If I'm gonna go to jail, let it be because my own pee failed.
And then you try not to put yourself in any situations where you need somebody's pee.
Agreed.
You know, like that woman that needed that dog pee for whatever reason.
And that shit always go wrong. I'm just gonna pee on yourself. Now you smell like pee. Who wants to deal with live pee? I don't even like to deal with the pee in the cup at the doctor office.
Right. It does seem like we should have a better way of doing that.
Right.
So then the poll, there was the same results on Spotify. And then the Q&A was, congrats, it's puppies. Aaron says, aren't Stanley Cups just the new Hydro Flask? They're both insulated water bottles along with a bunch of other similar ones. What's so special about Stanley and his cups? I don't know. I actually use this thing called Hydrate. Y'all might have seen me with this thermos, Hydrate Spark. And it actually comes with like an app, and it measures how much water you drink, and I keep up to date on the app. I only drink out of my Hydrate thing. I actually got 3 of these bottles now, and you can set like a daily goal. So I'm not the one to even pick on these people for spending money on these things, because I've spent more on my shit just to be like, I'm making my 75-ounce goal today or whatever. So what the fuck I'm gonna say?
I'm not judging them either. I spent my money on worthless shit too.
Worthless, nigga. What?
Not.
But all right.
I don't mean.
No, I mean honestly, you're trying to help them and you just made it worse. But it's fine.
I did. I'm so sorry. But when I mean worthless stuff, I mean it's a tumbler. I've put on my money on other stuff too.
No, you spent money on Hydrate Spark and don't use it. So that's way worse than what they doing.
Veronica, I'll be forgetting to charge it.
Veronica says, hi Rob and Karen, been listening for years, love the show. Feedback show 2838, y'all mentioned groupie tales. I love that segment. How y'all thought about reading questions from 6 brown chicks? No honestly, groupie tales was its own special thing, and it was different, and it was different than 6 brown chicks, because like I don't even believe them 6 brown chick stories. I feel like they're created just for content, and they're just so salacious, and they're aware of what they're doing. Groupie Tales is great because a lot of them were old, and it was like, I slept with young Jock, and it's like, oh shit. And I just don't think we can recapture that magic. Jadamo 8 says, a woman's car caught fire, everything was destroyed but her Stanley Cup. The cup, goddamn, this is the legend. This is the Johnny Appleseed motherfucking this fable gonna outlast the cups.
It is.
The company bought her a new car. The Journal podcast did an episode about how the cups became popular with women. Roger says, I just found out about the Stanley Cup craze. Saw a TikTok of a black man gifting his teen daughter one for Christmas, and she was in tears. I was so lost. Like, girl, it's a damn cup. The hard wants with the hard wants.
It's the thing to have. She probably been begging for that shit. And he was like, girl, I ain't spending no $50 on no thermos. Because he don't even know what it is. So it probably was a thermos to him.
Can't wait for the first one to be used in a murder. That's going to be a...
Child, gonna take somebody out.
Man beat to death with Stanley Cup. Regarding the poll, let's just say barring the friends clean urine and wearing baggy pants is a great workaround. I hear you. I'm not even gonna say your name. Okay, we don't want you to get in no trouble. But just don't try to borrow Karen's urine because she's stingy with the urine over here.
I am.
All right, she is over here trying to keep all the pee. You policing the pee.
The pee going down the toilet.
You put the pee in the police. Stop being so stingy.
Shit.
Share some of that clean pee.
Well,
it's not clean no more. All right, so
what you got something to say?
Nothing.
Say it with your chest.
Nothing. The pee got caffeine in it. Episode 2845. The race bowl. We had 2 comments. Appia says, I also lost weight last year. As I said on KTG, it was by therapy. I was in therapy for my obsessive thinking, and while there, I had to admit that I do the emotional eating in the evening a lot. I was able to admit it to myself through therapy. I ate all good, healthy stuff all day and ate practically a full meal after 10 o'clock, leftovers, candy, and so on. It was not fun to admit that it wasn't just sometimes, but only sometimes not. Then I learned to relax another way, like going earlier to bed, listening to ambient music. It helped a lot. For the first time in my life, I lost weight without any diet. That's dope. Yeah. And that's the thing, like, one of the reasons I don't like talking about it too much, even on the show. I know we've been talking about it a lot lately, but I'm more considering not talking about it that much, is because it's triggering for people. It's very different for people, but also there's like all this unsolicited advice, and then people tell you what worked for them, and there's nothing wrong with that. If it worked for them, it worked for them. But like, you know, I don't want to turn our show into that, because I think it's something that in a society that is as fat phobic as it is, that is as patriarchal and all these things that it is, all of us have issues around this stuff, and it literally, the whole podcast could become this, just because.
And there are whole podcasts if that's what they talk about.
Yeah, and I just think, you know, and people kind of come in with their own testimonials and stuff, and we end up just talking about that shit all the time. And I'm not an expert at this stuff, and I'm not trying to be. And I'm not trying to be the person that says the right thing every single time and gets everybody's feelings right. I don't know. I'm trying not to contribute to the negativity around it.
Agreed.
And while I may be feeling like the changes I'm making in my life are good and positive for me, I've seen people internalize and personalize that shit. Like that person that said if people lose weight, and what do you say about your fat friends, that you hate them or whatever? It's like, I don't want to contribute to that. We've had people write into the show that have issues and shit like that. My goal is never to do that, but I definitely hear you, and I think therapy is a big part of it for a lot of people, because if you don't know what's causing the issue for you, you can't get to the bottom of it, you know? And a lot of that stuff is just mental. It's not going to be, you know, in addition to the fucking addictive shit they put in the food, but a lot of that stuff is mental, you know? EVE says, I just know that Black Trump supporter cries himself to sleep that night, because that's really gotta hurt. And for him to justify it is so icky. Or maybe he's just trying to take Clarence Thomas's spot as King Coon. I'm not sure if that will happen though, because if there was a Beat the Coon video game, Clarence Thomas would be the big boss. Well, you know, if there was a Beat the Coon video game, what would be funny is that Clarence Thomas, by nature of it being that, will have to be the underboss. Because the master would be the big boss. So I guess Trump would be the main boss.
Trump would be the King Cooper.
Yeah. Or what's that dude that he was kicking him with? The dude that paid for everything. Raven? No, it's Harlan Crow. Harlan Crow would be the big boss.
Oh, yes.
And then the fight against him would be hard, because it'll just make he'll keep throwing money at your character and be like, is this enough? And be like, oh shit, trip to Cancun. RV. Right. Buy your mama a house.
Pay your grandson's student loans off.
Yeah, exactly. Through the loans.
Yeah.
Through the loans. You're like, oh, wow, I sold out. I'm not sure who's more in denial, that guy, Tim Scott's fiance. I think it's Tim Scott, but maybe Mike Pence. All right, let's get to the comments on this one on YouTube, if there were any. One has 2 replies, but I only see one of the replies. So they say, I find that if I go to McDonald's or AMC, I will order the kids meal and find that sufficiently affordable and filling. Alicia says, I find when I go, I'm shocked and dismayed to buy the total and I pay. But I look back and tell my kids they better enjoy because we ain't coming back here no more.
When you look at your bill, $50, you be like, God damn.
Right? Oh man. But yeah, all right, let's get to the poll, which is, did the biggest at Turning Point USA represent most Trump voters? Because according to that black gay man, they called the F word and racial slurs. They did not. Well, 77% of our audience thinks they do represent most Trump voters, but 24% think they do not. So shout out to that 24%, you know. Meanwhile, on Spotify, 88% say, yeah, they represent them, and 11% say they don't. So interesting results there. I thought it would almost be 100%, but y'all are more open-minded. Jamie Lynn says, to my Q&A, black people, make sure you're using all the boats on the plane.
Yes, all of them.
Because I heard that a lot of the blacks like to take off a little early and go home. You know how black people always like, they ain't gonna have me here after 5. And so if it's 5 boats missing, it's 5 boats missing.
You ain't paying overtime. I'm not staying.
So Jamie Lynn says, what does assembly instructions say? That's a good point, Jamie Lynn. And were they written by DEI? Because if they were written by one of those DEIs, then it might not be, maybe some pages missing from the instructions. Okay? You know, you ever go to work, you know, you go to work is because y'all know how they do, right? It's white people go to work, they be like, I'm gonna go to work. I guess I better clock in exactly at 8 and only take an hour lunch and leave at 5 because I'm a good person. I might even stay a little over, give them a little extra. But when these DEIs come to work, they be like, oh, I got to come to motherfucking work. I'm going to be a little late. Oh, I know it say 8 o'clock, but I'm going to get there about 8:45. Got to stop by Denny's and get some food. You know how the DEIs do.
How the DEIs do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they do it different. You know, it's like when they cheat on their wives. You know, white people, they be like, oh, I think I'm going to get a small apartment downtown and I'll have a secret loft and then I'll have my honey come through. That's the secretary from the job and we'll make sweet love and she'll stay with me on the weekends and I'll tell my wife after work. But not the DEIs. They be like, oh, it's some motherfucking pussy up in here. Oh, I can't wait to fuck all these bitches. You know how the DEIs do.
You know how they do.
Our Strong says, who's the DEI hire that didn't bolt the plane up? Also, when I heard the lady's name who tortured those animals, all I could think was shame on Enigar. I don't even know what that means. I know that. Oh, shame on a nigger. I get it. That's funny. Alamni says, you would be better to flap your arms up and down to fly.
You might get further shit.
Y'all be careful, these DEIs. You hate to see it. A white man, an Asian man, and a DEI walk into a bar. Okay.
That's a good one.
They all pissing off a bridge, right? So then the Asian man is like, nah, all right. I think y'all get the point. It's a racial slur. All right, let's get to the voicemails. But first, let me play a little music so we can make some money. DEIs be driving like this is the first voicemail.
Hey y'all, it is Ebony. I just finished listening to the feedback episode, and Karen, just wanted to say I'm right there with you. Like outside of anecdotal stories or what I learned in school, I didn't have like many additional Black history lessons like outside of my community. So it literally wasn't until like early 30s that through my work, actually, I participated in a 2-day workshop called through the Racial Equity Institute. Phenomenal course. But, it basically laid the root that America has always been racist. The laws were built to perpetuate that racism. And so when your quote unquote moderate Republican nominee, Nikki Haley, says America's never been racist, it's like the Delulu is crazy. And that's quite scary. So anyway, Karen, don't beat yourself up. Get curious. We share very similar stories in that. And then the last thing that I'll say with my remaining time is that how dare your listeners talk about people the streets aren't fucking with Drake. We love Drake over here. And I also love Mos Def. But I think like with hip hop, Mos Def is like spinach or broccoli. Like we need it. He's good for hip hop. But Drake is like chocolate cake. He's opulent. He's petty. He is like that guy. The girls want to date him. The guys want to be like him. And he raps like so fluid. He's like gangster one day, lover boy the next, dancing over here. So we love Drake. And I think most people do. They just maybe don't want to admit it. So anyway, y'all be good. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you, baby.
Yeah, I agree, man. I think the Drake shit is, just people of our generation trying to pretend that we still run hip hop. And the Nikki Haley thing is so funny because after she said that shit about how they don't how she was like, listen, America's not a racist country, blah blah blah. I'll be damned if Trump didn't hit her with the birther shit. Like she's like, oh yeah, it's never been a racist country. And Trump is like,
what's your real name?
Bitch, you can't run for president because your parents was immigrants and you not American. You're brown, DEI. I was like, oh shit, the racism popped up real fast.
Right.
Record speed. Girls, you stop palling around with them. Kiana left 2 voicemails.
Hey y'all. I'm listening to this segment about the snortable caffeine, and I have so many fucking questions. The first question is, how is someone convinced to snort caffeine unless you have either already secretly wanted to snort cocaine or you've already snorted cocaine in the previous life? Because I've never snorted shit ever in my life, and you couldn't convince me that snorting caffeine is a good idea.
Right.
First of all, I agree with Karen. I like the lining of my nose. I like my septum. It's functional. It works great. But that caffeine hits your system like a fucking Mack truck. That's why people snort cocaine, because it gets into your blood so quickly. I'm so confused. I have so many questions. I feel like in 10 years, they're going to be like, if you use one-a-bump snortable caffeine, you are entitled to financial compensation.
Yes!
This shit is not going to end well for the people who are doing it. And like, it's very weird that somebody thought it was a good idea. Also, this shit ain't happening in the hood. I don't know about no niggas snorting caffeine. Like, we have enough shit already going on without getting pulled over for having some shit like that in your... I'm perplexed and also very confused. Love y'all. Have a good one. Bye.
She did call back.
Hey y'all, it's Kiana again. My goal for 2024 is to cultivate confidence in myself like Ron DeSantis has in those 4-inch cowboy booties, wedges, trying to make people think that he's taller than he is. I want to cultivate strength of character as strong as Ron DeSantis' arches. And I'm glad that he can finally retire those boots. That's it. Love y'all. Good night.
You just made me think about how excellent job on the voicemails, by the way. Like, you really did come in under 2 minutes. I appreciate the succinct thing. Be like Kiana, everybody. But I love how in my mind you just made me think of Ron DeSantis officially like going, all right, that's it. That's the end of my campaign. And yet the last campaign event, and the balloons have all fallen. Everyone's drank the alcohol. Everybody's gone home. The lights are shut off, and then he just goes back into the green room, and he finally takes off those fucking heels. Like Mr. Rogers coming home from work. He just finally is, and then he just lets out the biggest like sigh of relief because the heel's been hurting his feet the whole campaign, and he could finally just be the 5'2" king that he's meant to be. There's something so beautiful about it. All right, next one's from I think Michelle. They left 3.
Hey, what's up, Rod and Karen? This is Michelle. I called a while back to give y'all props about y'all show and y'all integrity and stuff. And so just a loyal listener here. So yeah, I'm sorry. Hopefully it's not too loud. I'm driving in the field today at work. But I just finished listening to the podcast that you did about the comedian Joey Coy. I think that's his name. Mm-hmm. My wife and my brother, they listen to his stand-ups and stuff. And that dude is just not funny. Like, I agree with what y'all said about the shows and the comedians of the shows, but that dude, his whole stick or whatever, his whole style of comedic is like, I'm Filipino, I'm from this segmented part culture in America, and this is how my grandma is, or this is how my culture is. And that's great. There's a lot of comedians that do that, but they can relate it to everybody, right? When you see the greats, how they talk about the hood or their grandma, or how it was when they were kids. They put it in a context where whether you're black, white, Asian, Native American, Indian, they can relate. He doesn't, like, his comedian style is, this is how my grandma talks. This is how, this is our house smells a certain way when it's dinner time. We have too many relatives, right? Like, and these are things that we can relate, but he doesn't do it in a clever way. And that comedic style would have worked.
Oh, he called back. Mm-hmm.
Oh, and what I was saying before is like his style of comedy would have worked like 20, 30 years ago, but it doesn't work now. It's not clever. Mm-hmm. It's not insightful. It's not relatable to everybody. And I think that's why he got booed off. That's why he kind of got the pushback. Because when you look at some of the other greats like Ricky Gervais, like he was super offensive, but still killed. Still, there's a lot of controversy, right, with some of these comedians, but they don't bomb, and they are funny, right? And so I think he just bombed, and he's blaming everybody else. Like, right? Like, it's different if another great, and he's a comedian, he's a professional comedian for a living. He's a millionaire from doing what he does. Like, you're in the NBA of comedians. If you can't think of something funny a week before, like, a couple weeks before the show, and with a writing staff, like, I don't know what to tell you. It's like finding out your favorite rapper doesn't know how to freestyle, right? You considered him a great, and then you realize he can't freestyle. Like, you can still like him, and I'm no shade against him. He's just my style. I just don't think he's funny. And it sucks that he blamed the crowd, or he blamed his writers, everybody but him. Like, if you couldn't do it in the time you were given, you shouldn't have took the job. So I don't know. That's my 2 cents on the thing. I want to throw that out there. I think when you look at great comedians, they're relatable to everybody. And I think I get what you're saying about that kind of uppity crowd. Just
the last one.
And sorry, this is the last one. But and the comedian, I forgot what I was going to say. But anyway, I think what I was getting at is that when you look at somebody like Ricky Gervais, like, he was super offensive with talking about Jeffrey Epstein, right? Like, it's offensive. You get a lot of but the middle of America's laughing, right? Maybe that crowd isn't, and it's still entertaining when I think of. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say about that. I mean, one of his jokes was Oppenheimer was his real life serious movie, and Barbie was a movie about boobs. Like, what's the punchline? What's the joke? The Taylor Swift thing, like, she might have thought that was offensive, but we've been talking about Taylor Swift in the NFL for like 6 months now, right? Maybe that wasn't clever enough for her to just laugh, right? Like, it was an old joke. It was a cheap joke. You know, it's no cleverness. There's no sting to it. It's no new perspective to it. So anyway, that's all I wanted to say about that. But anyway, hey, I also wanted to ask, hopefully I'm not going over, but it might be too late now, but will Keith and Hemda ever come on your guys' podcast? I'd like to hear that, because I listen to them because of you guys. And I like when you're on there and you have good perspectives. Y'all both have good perspectives on it. So anyway, shout out.
Absolutely.
They've been on before.
Yeah, they've been on before, and they'll be on again for sure. It's honestly just we talk to them every week for last week on Keith and the Girl, and we listen to them every day, and I text them and stuff, and this happens with just people in my life all the time. I forget that they're just my friends now. So you know, in my mind, I'm just like, you know, talking to the homies or whatever. But yeah, I forget that for y'all, it's it's totally different. So absolutely, they'll be back on the show. That's not a question. For the other thing you brought up with Joy Coy, I'm not that big of a like fan of his, and that, like, I don't know all his stuff necessarily.
Me either. I don't really follow him like that.
And so I think we were talking about something a little bigger than just whether or not you personally find him to be funny or not. And I think he's talking about something where, yeah, he bombed and yeah, he fucked up, but also that situation was set up for somebody to fail. There's a reason they got down to Joe Coy to ask him 10 days out.
No,
there's a reason. Like, other people turn that gig down for him to take that, is what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a reason, and he's hitting on something real, that you're not getting the A-list comedians that want to do it. There's a reason that we're getting guys repeatedly doing it. Ricky Gervais coming back, being told that he's offensive and unfunny, and then being asked to come back again, because they don't have to pick of the litter the way they used to. It used to be a prestige event. They also used to be tentpole television, which the ratings show they are not anymore.
Mm-mm.
And a big part of that, I think, is because it's a hostile crowd. It's not necessarily designed to be reflective of stand-up. You say you don't think he's funny, that's fine, but then you bring up he's a millionaire, he's a professional, he's touring, he's selling out crowds. So clearly the motherfucker is funny. Like, he's funny to somebody. You know, it's just not your type of funny. And so I don't know that I would dismiss what he's saying, because other comedians have come out since he said that stuff and co-signed it. You know, famously, obviously, Kevin Hart, but like, I just think the comedians aren't just to be dismissed like, y'all don't know what the fuck y'all talking about, shut the fuck up. They are comedians for a reason. And society has changed, and I think people have gotten so uptight about what those shows even are anymore, that they don't understand the point of having comedy. The point of the comedy is to make it so that your wine and champagne, and your let them eat cake ass event can be humanized for those of us at home who typically look up to these people. Like, look how much money they make. Look how beautiful they are. Look how famous they are. Look at the finery of their gowns. Look at the food they're eating. Look at how rich they are. Well, if you're going to be all that, and I'm supposed to be sitting at home, you need that court jester. You need somebody to come in there and be like, Y'all motherfuckers ain't shit. And while you said that Ricky Gervais is funny, there's a lot of people that just find him not. They had the same complaints about Gervais that they have about Joe, which is you offended the room, you're not funny, and you need to keep your shit, down or whatever. Like, we're tired of, don't come in here picking on people. So yeah, I think there's something to it. And of course, Joe bombed and seemingly did not prepare and thought, I mean, in a way, kind of seemed to have the same attitude you had, which was, you're a professional comedian, you got 10 days, how hard can it be? Very. Yes. As a writer, it's very hard. Because as a person that was writing, Bomani is a funny dude. He's one of the best off the cuff people, and one of smart, everything, charismatic, all those great things. But let me tell you something. We not sending him out there to do game theory off the cuff. Right. TV, you got to be the hyper polished version of yourself. The timing can matter down to the second. The one word can change the entire joke. And so to me, where he really fucked up is he dismissed the work of the writer,
which was very insulting to them.
Yeah, which is, in addition to insulting, it also just kneecaps you. Because you're only now going to be as funny as you can be in 10 days. Right. And even when you see him on tour, stand up and stuff, a lot of times when those guys make a special, that's material some of them been working on for years to get every single detail right. So yeah, he fucked up, but I don't want to let's not get caught up in personalizing it just to him. We were talking about a bigger point. This last voicemail, they left 3 of them, and I don't know who it's from. It's maybe a first time caller. I don't know.
Y'all. So I was listening to this week's episode, something about a race bowl. And I'm in complete agreement. Like, it's not a question for me about what I'm doing in November. And it hasn't been a question for me for a long time. I don't think it's ever been a question for me since I could vote. I know that Republicans are like, I'm just never going to align with what they believe in. And they're on a different level now. Like, it seems like all of them are extreme. And they all got some kind of belief or policy or rhetoric that is anti everybody but them. And some of them too. They just in La La Land. But high key, like, they could put Elmo as the primary for the Democratic ticket, and that nigga's getting my vote, period. Because I know what's at stake. Like, it's just not a question. And I know for sure, even as someone who lives in a blue state, like, I'm still fucking voting. Like, It's just not a question for me. But can y'all believe? Well, I mean, you probably can. But clearly I'm still flabbergasted. I was at work the other day, and my coworker, who's in her mid-30s and it is a Black woman, she said she's not voting. And I was like, what? So I'm like, no, you have to vote. And she's like, no, I'm not voting. And we just kind of go back and forth like that for a while. And then she starts talking about how, Biden and Harris haven't done anything, and she worked on their campaign, and she's just so upset with them because they haven't done anything, so she's not voting. And then she said, at least with Trump, we know what we're getting. When my jaw was on the floor. I was like, no. And I had to stop myself because I'm like, you know what? I'm not about to go back and forth with a grown person who's older than me about whether or not you should be voting, because you should be voting. That's just it.
They bought into
Especially as a Black woman, you should be voting. And I just I was so ready to pull up the article that y'all talked about the other day, like all of the.
You got cut off. She's calling back.
Okay, sorry.
How could they say that? They just
I'm gonna try to make this quick. But I was so ready to pull up the article about, what Biden and Harris have done for Black people. But then I was like, you know what? If she says she's not voting, like, what can I do? I'm not going to argue with nobody about whether or not they should vote. Like, if it's not apparent to you, then I don't know what to say. So I was like, I'm just not even going to do it. But also, like, we work a very stressful job, and she's in a very stressful time in her life. So now is probably not the time for me to try to, convince her about why she needs to vote. Like, we have until November. But I keep going back and forth about whether it's even a conversation that we need to have. And both of us, we fashion ourselves to be progressives. Like, we care about Black people, we care about women, we care about LGBTQ plus people. And even when you said something today about Biden completely getting rid of a rule that the devil had invoked, where people, medical professionals could decide not to offer LGBTQ people, medical services. And I'm like, is that not enough for people, or do people just not know? And so you think they haven't done anything, and because of that, you're quote unquote not voting, as if that's better. It's not. And Rod, you asked this question one time, like, what causes do you care about would be bettered by you not voting? None of them would be. And a lot of them have actually been bettered with Biden and Harris in office. And that means that don't mean that I like everything that they've done, but that's also the equivalent of people calling your show and being like, I don't agree with everything that you said.
Right.
You don't gotta like nobody 100%. No one asked you to.
Right.
You just have to vote for the better option. And we are always going to be voting for the better option because no one is ever going to be perfect.
Yep.
So I'm just kind of like, I'm actually starting to get really kind of freaked out because, like Karen always says, like they're trying to get us back to a time that we were at before.
Yes.
And we just hear every day how they're passing laws against this, banning more. But like, how are you banning a dictionary and an encyclopedia or whatever the fuck?
Yeah, one more.
Okay, this is my last one for real. I'm sorry. But I don't know what to do. I don't. It does give me a little hope. The statistic that you read off about, what is it, millennials or something? Some group of young people, the percentage of them that's LGBTQ plus and not like conservative or whatever the fuck it was, is like 25%. Please don't. I'm trying to remember the statistic, but it's been a long day. So, knowing that the number has increased and that these people are voting age makes me feel a little bit better. But I am still kind of like freaked out about what people are going to do come November. And I really hope that people get out of La La Land, wake the fuck up, and vote that way that they need to. And I just had a thought the other day that all of these things that are happening in the world where there are genocides and like people are being forced out of their homes and being killed, today, in the past, it all happens because leadership in these areas allows it.
Right.
And that nigga has already, not nigga, that demon has already told us that he's going to be a dictator.
Yep.
Yes.
He's already told us that. And I don't want to know or find out what that means because we are already in a shit show right now.
Agreed.
Trying to recover from the dumb shit that he did. We don't need him in office. He needs to be locked up and people need to vote blue. Period. I mean, come on now. Come on.
Yep. That was the last one. But yeah, I agree. And I mean, I think also this is what happens is anecdotally we run into people, whether it's social media, even in real life, that are on the like, I'm voting for Trump or I'm not gonna vote at all. And then we extrapolate that to the negative feelings that we've experienced just in general, when it comes to how much attention is focused on the non-voter, the Trump voter, and the apathetic and all this stuff. And it can mess up your mental because you're like, oh my God, are we gonna lose? Is it because no one's gonna vote? But at the same time, like I said, and people are being affected by the propaganda. People are being affected by the movement to get people to be apathetic. I'm not saying that stuff isn't real, but we can only do what we can do. And at the end of the day, a lot of those folks aren't really representative of the larger demographic, especially for Black folks. We are the most engaged and the most likely to vote of all people in America. So yeah, they're gonna find the Charlemagnes and they're gonna find the I vote for Trump guys, and they're gonna put them on TV. And yeah, you're gonna anecdotally run into a coworker or two, or a person. I used to play ball with a couple guys that would talk about voting for Trump. One of them was like a Black dude, and he would talk about how he just wouldn't vote for Hillary, he vote for Trump, and all this shit. And he was the only real dude I knew in my life that talked like that. Seriously, I knew a couple people that weren't gonna vote, but conversations with them, honestly, at the end of the day, a lot of them would be convinced that they should at least vote or look into it after just a brief conversation. Because I think for the most part, a lot of these people just want to be heard. They haven't been listened to. They haven't been talked to. They haven't had their thinking critically like questioned and challenged. Yeah. And I don't mean the shit that y'all see on these fucking MSNBC. I don't mean this shit y'all see on TikTok where people are yelling at people. No. I mean, I had conversations with people I know in real life that I would consider acquaintances and friends, and it wasn't yelling, and I wasn't trying to make them look or feel stupid. We just had a conversation, and within a few questions, a few minutes, you could kind of see them go like, oh yeah, I guess that doesn't make sense. I'm not going to get what I want for not voting or whatever. So I think a lot of that is what's at play here. But I mean, there's some that's shit that people don't talk about. Like, you know, people would pat black women on the back for being the most like vocal, the most supportive, the most smart, and they vote Democrat at a 90% clip. And then we'll sit up there and say the Democratic plantation, blah, 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 basically saying black women are slaves and mammies and dummies and not informed voters. But then whenever they win an election or whenever they take office or whatever, we're like, black women have saved us all. Black women are so smart. Vote like black women. Can't we understand? Black women have the most at stake in America, and they do. And it's like, well, how can both things exist?
Right.
So the party is corrupt. The people that vote for them are stupid. The black people want a massa. But also black women, we respect them and love them, and they're so fucking smart. But like, it's a lot of contradictions moving in play. All right, voicemail time. I mean, email time. I made a mistake, Ken. You wanna laugh? Thank you. The first one is 2842 follow-up from Ebony, who says, hey, Rod and Karen, I left y'all a voice note in the wee hours of the morning. Now that the edible is worn off, I realize I missed a few things. Every time you talk about Trump and the black vote, it reminds me of the episode of The Run-Up, because you all listen to The Daily. You may have already heard this episode, but I thought it was really insightful, especially why some black men still fuck with Trump. It's called Our Black Voters Leaving Democrats Behind, The Run-Up. Regarding my comment about black history and being a little sensitive about not knowing as much as I should, I also don't know how to play spades. Well, I wouldn't tell nobody that. So I feel like with that combination, my black card is always at risk of being revoked. Oh, you think you got one? No, I'm just fucking with you. I'm just fucking with you. Finally,
it's on a temporary status, as they say.
Yeah,
it's in the mail.
We're reviewing it. Finally, I've experienced really positive benefits when I pair intermittent fasting with juicing. I typically do a 16-8 schedule and break my fast with celery juice. My goal is to get back on this soon because I've been wilding on the food and alcohol since the holidays. Okay, that's all. Have a great week, Ebony. I hear you. I've done intermittent fasting before, but it's so weird because like I don't find the intermittent fasting thing to be difficult for me because I don't get hungry I get hungry at odd times, meaning and I know, listen, like I said, this is not an invitation for y'all to write up here and be my nutritionist. So just chill out. I'm just about to tell y'all something. It just is what it is. But like I can go from the time I wake up to like 3, 4, 5 o'clock at night and not feel hungry. I don't know what that's about.
And I am the opposite. I wake up, I'm like, bitch, what we eating? I'm the opposite.
So I've been able to do that. Now I try to eat breakfast and stuff just to remember it. Like I'll eat, even if it's just like Raisin Bran Crunch or something, like just a little, like a little bit of that or something, just something, an egg or two. Cause then it's like, well, okay, I ate some breakfast and, you know, but a lot of times it just made me feel like I'd be even less hungry later on. Like so I don't even know. Anyway, so I remember I was on this, there was an app. Fuck, I don't remember. I forget the name of the app. But it was an app. It was like, try intermittent fasting, set your schedule. And I would always, it was not a problem. Like, I just be like, all right, stop eating at this o'clock at night. Don't eat till da-da-da. I'll be over the shit by a lot, you know? So, but I'm not, the reason I haven't really been doing stuff like that is because I'm trying not to just be like, I'm denying myself stuff or this is a bad food and this is a good food or, you know, man, I can't eat nothing until the 10:01. Like, I'm trying to avoid that stuff if I can. I'm not saying to have zero discipline, but just in general, I'm trying to avoid that approach. So that's what's, but I feel you though. I appreciate the suggestion. I have looked into it and I might do it again. I just kind of naturally always do it. It's wild to me too. A lot of it was just what I was eating and when I was eating. It would it's not necessarily and how much I was eating, so anyway. But also like I'd say more than any of that, it's how little I was exercising and doing shit for the last 3 years. It's just, it was like, don't play basketball, niggas breathing on you, so it's different. Gender wars. Aaron says, I think I may have another gender wars segment for y'all. This went viral on TikTok. If you haven't seen it, attached a video. And it's a little attached video. Damn, I gotta download this shit. What the fuck? Nigga, you couldn't just link to TikTok? What is this?
I don't want no virus.
He went old school. This motherfucker like see attachment.
Was it in a zip drive?
Okay, let me see if I can play this and show y'all this.
This is how you do.
Okay, let me try to pull it up to show y'all. Give me a second, everybody. This some different shit. Okay, so maybe no, that's not it. Oh, okay, media player. Okay, all right, well, we can watch this as a family. Oh, 2.5 minutes. So here we go. Some gender war. Oh shit, I should have played the gender war song. Hold on. Pull up the gender wars music.
We're going to war. Gender war. There's a war going on outside. Gender war. There's a war going on outside. Gender war.
Here we go. The gender war content.
This is how you do not plan a freaking date. You are going to get rejected. I am here going to show you with receipts. I pulled this one from the archive. Let's get into it. I had been on one date with this man and I got right in that group chat after the first date telling the girlies, I think this guy is great. I had such a nice time with him. We had so much fun. We had a lot in common. I could not wait to go on a second date with him. A week or so later, he finally texts me and is like, hey, are you free Sunday for brunch? I'm like, yeah, great. That Saturday night, he sends me this text. Are you still up for brunch? Yes, I'm still up for brunch. You're saying that 5 p.m. on Saturday, brunch assumingly would be Sunday, noon, 1. Yeah, what are you thinking? I could come your way if you know a good spot. Okay, let me do the heavy lifting for you, buddy. So I give him a list of these places and I add, not sure if any take a res, meaning, hey, buddy, I'm giving you 3 options of places I'd like to go, but you are going to have to do the footwork to determine whether or not they even require reservations. A lot of brunch places don't, or what the deal is. He says, oh, the Dutch eye. Not even sure what that means. Like, oh, is that a plan? No. So then that morning I get a text from him. Howdy, how does 2 sound? I never heard back from him the night before. So what do I say? Oh, when I didn't hear back last night about a reservation or anything concrete, I made plans for this afternoon. You cannot, for a second date, try and make plans the morning of. Even less than 24 hours. Like, your girl is busy. We are not sitting around waiting for you to reach out. Goodbye. And so what is his response? Okay, cool. He, I think, got the point. But either way, I was like, this has to be like one of the laziest attempts at putting a second date together. Like, bro, second date, what are you doing? You missed out is what happened. Sorry.
Okay. All right, Karen. So I think we do this 0 to 10. What would you give this content?
This one gets a low score. This one gets about a 1 or a 2. Mm-hmm. This might have been flames and white people gender wars. Mm-hmm. She was too calm. Like I say, when you do gender wars, you need to come off the bat. Like her voice should have been more sassier. I'm not trying to be funny when I say that. Like more
kind of like Matt Rife. I get it.
More anger behind it. But can y'all believe what he did? Blah, blah. It was like she was almost like a toned down version of it. You know, if you're gonna do this, you need to be over the top. You need to be overemphasizing their response. You need, because there was something she did that was right, but it needs to be the extra. Like, I look for the extra stuff. You need to show us how offended you are in your body language and the way that you speak and things like that. And I just wasn't getting that from this.
I agree. I give it like a 1 or a 2. Obviously, I'm not getting into the merit of her argument or discussion. That's totally personal preference.
Right.
And if you think it's not enough effort or too whatever the fuck, too casual, that's, hey, look, it's your body, your right. You ain't got to go on no dates with nobody you don't feel like feeling you. So that part is kind of like, macro versus micro.
Right.
And, I always find that part to be like the least intriguing thing, because so much of my thought process around dating topics is it's up to individuals to find each other.
Yes.
And I've never understood why people felt so vindicated one way or the other in someone's personal preference. I don't need to like shout her down, or if she feel like she needs somebody that need to approach it differently, then I hope she finds somebody that approach it differently. That's what dating is. You find the people you match with and you hope the shit works out. So that part I don't give a fuck about. It's like the ice cream date shit and all that. Who cares? She'll find a motherfucker that won't take her to ice cream. Good luck. And I'm sure he'll find one of the women in the comments that are like, I'll eat some ice cream. So okay. But yeah, I thought the content was dry. I thought she didn't give enough attitude. Even the texts were dry. She was trying to make the text into something spicy that weren't. He said, okay, cool. I'm like, yeah, it sounds like he was not pressed at all. Kind of surprised you thought this was something to share. And it makes me wonder if her content on her page is around dating, and so she just needed content.
Right.
So she had to make this into something, even though this was not really, to me, this is not an exchange that seemed to scream like.
We've heard better exchanges between people, not even about dating, just better cheating exchanges, sassy exchanges. Like, this was not.
She needed him to go like incel or something. I don't even, and for the record, because of that, I don't think this is fake. Because a lot of times we do this stuff and it's like, oh, this is a skit.
Oh, this is real.
I really feel like it should have been like, you really needed like a motherfucker to be like straight up fake, like to be like, hey, bitch, I said, like you needed something. Because then we would be like, oh.
Right, then fuck you, bitch, making plans without me, something like that, yes.
Oh, and Cass brings up a great point. She said she dug it up. So she went and got an old text exchange. Yeah, so she just needed some content. So, it was pretty weak to me. So someone just wrote thought process, said, how the hell, LOL, how the hell you get Morgan Freeman to do that show drop? That's not Morgan Freeman. It's not
hilarious.
Morgan Freeman, guys. Y'all can go to Fiverr, and there's people that do, they'll like, you give them a couple dollars or whatever they charge, and they do like impressions and stuff. I actually brought this up before where we have, and I use this drop sometimes. I think it's terrible. JL Covan and a couple other people think it's not that bad. But the worst one I've ever got was there's a guy who says he does a Denzel Washington impression. And I paid him $5 to do, I listened to the Black Guy Who Tips because Rod and Karen are hot. And
I listen to the Black Guy Who Tips podcast because Rod and Karen are hot.
And I think that's terrible. It just sounds like a white man at a job interview. But we also have some other good ones. Bob's Burgers, Bob from Bob's Burgers.
I listen to the Black Guy Who Tips because Rod and Karen are so hot.
Obama.
I listen to the Black Guy Who Tips podcast because Rod and Karen are hot.
Picard from Star Trek The Next Generation.
I listen to the Black Guy Who Tips podcast because Rod and Karen are hot.
Professor Farnsworth from Futurama.
Good news, everyone. I listen to the Black Guy Who Tips podcast because Rod and Karen are hot.
Rick Sanchez from Rick and Morty.
Mm-hmm. I listen to the Black Guy Who Tips podcast because Rod and Karen are hot.
I think we got one with Jay-Z.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see.
Yeah, I listen to the Black Guy Who Tips podcast because Rod and Karen are hot. Hove.
Santa Claus?
Ho, ho, ho. I listen to the Black Guy Who Tips podcast because Rod and Karen are hot. Ho, ho, ho.
Donald Trump?
I listen to the Black Guy Who Tips podcast because Rod and Karen are hot.
That's JL Covan, and that shit is I use that one sparingly because it's too good. It's honestly too good. Yoda?
To the Black Guy Who Tips podcast. I listen because Rod and Karen are hot.
Joker?
I listen to the Black Guy Who Tips podcast because Rod and Karen are hot.
Santa Claus?
I listen to the Black Guy Who Tips podcast because Rod and Karen are hot.
Goofy?
Gosh, I listen to the Black Guy Who Tips podcast because Rod and Karen are hot.
And Homer Simpson?
I listen to the Black Guy Who Tips podcast because Rod and Karen are hot.
And lastly, Marty Funkhauser from, this is so obscure, but from Curb.
I listen to the Black Guy Who Tips podcast because Rod and Karen are hot.
I don't know how good that one is, but it all started because Dexter from Shadow Dog Productions thought we should have an intro, and he had Lisa, an actress, a voice actor, there record this.
I listen to the Black Guy Who Tips podcast because Rod and Karen are hot.
And we use that.
So we started using that as the intro. And that's how it ended up happening. We used to also use intro that had like Louis C.K. talking about black people tipping. Then there was another intro from the movie Crash about black people tipping. So it's been different stuff over the years, but
evolved.
I like the impression ones, but it's not actually Morgan Freeman. And if you have other good ideas, let us know. Maybe we'll come up with some other people. If you can do an impression, maybe we'll add it to the show. We got this one from our girl Miss Smart, Think Pretty Smart. Notes on fat phobia from a skinny person, Karen and Rod. This doesn't link to one particular episode, but a lot has been mentioned about weight and fat phobia recently or lately, with an emphasis on women because I am a woman. The way blacks and especially black women are gaslit about our experiences parallels how people in bigger bodies are gaslit. If above average size American women think they aren't getting opportunities, invitations, etc. because of their size, they're absolutely correct. I doubt it's a grand conspiracy at the micro level. To acknowledge it, a micro level means the next step is to do something about it. Yeah, I'm sure. I don't think the discussion we've been having is this idea that fat phobia isn't real, that fat people are making things up, that they're, this is one of the reasons I don't like talking about on the show, is because I feel like the discussion becomes something that's not what we're talking about. And I think what sparked this was a person that's not a black woman, but someone saying that, you celebrating your weight loss, your fat friends see that, and it means you hate us and all this shit. I think, one, I don't know that that's true, number one. But number two, if that is true and you really do believe that, that's life. And that's not going to change. And this is something I talk about with therapy all the time. People on social media act like therapy is this thing that the person, you walk into the office, you tell them your feelings, they are fully supportive of you, and you walk out and they go, everyone's wrong, you're right, fuck the world.
That's not how that works.
What happened for me is they give you tools for the fact that the world is not that way.
Right.
And that you have to either be able to handle that, or you have to be able to take yourself out of situations where you're dealing with that.
Yeah, you got to adjust to the world.
Yeah, but you walking around constantly in turmoil, fighting the world over that shit is not necessarily the healthiest outlook for you, mentally or physically, to be honest, to be in that level of turmoil all the time. And how do we deal with that? How do we cope? It's like, if I have a fear of going to the doctor, right? If I have this fear of going to the doctor, I don't want a therapist to be like, well, then I'll go to the doctor. Fuck it.
Right.
Like, I need a therapist is like, no. This is how we're gonna get you to a place where you can like do the things you need to do to get to the places you want to go. That's what it is. So I don't think anyone on our show, anyone that wrote in, any of the topics we talked about, especially around Black women, is any like we would even say some like, to me, some wild shit like everything's fair and even for fat people. I don't even know what y'all talking about. Like, that's not true. I'm a Black man and I'm fat, and I know that's not true. You know, there's a bunch of stuff that would be improved in life if people would take fat people seriously, to be honest. Because a lot of people are getting priced out and getting less because they are just basically walking around going, well, at least I'm not fat. But how many of y'all motherfuckers are stuffed in the plane seats now because the quality of service and room on a plane has decreased dramatically in our lifetime, because people are like, well, if you're fat, just pay for 2 seats. What the fuck? And I'm like, well, now you're squeezed in here too.
Yes, you are.
You know, so I definitely feel like that. I think micro versus macro is always going to be an issue with all of these topics, because micro, there's things that are happening that either you're not telling us, we don't have a complete picture. You may be in denial about yourself, and this isn't just a fat thing, this is everything. Right. This is like the woman with the text and the dating just now. There's stuff I don't know about this lady. I can't know. She's making content. She's presenting something to me. In her presentation, it is, this man fucked up this date, and he won't be getting a second date. You're going to have a lot of controversy around that topic. Now, she's a skinny white lady, okay? So there won't be a thing she can really run to other than being a woman. Like, she can't be like, and this happened to me because I'm Black. Like, but if a Black person took that same situation, said exactly what she said, but then added, and he did this because I'm Black, there's no way to disprove that or to prove that.
Right.
I'm only going out for your word. I don't want to be an asshole or a jerk and be like, that ain't happened to you because you Black. I don't know. I'm a Black person. I look at it and I go, I can't be sure that's what happened, and I can't not be sure that's what happened. That's what I mean when I talk about micro versus macro. We look at macro problems like, hey, Black people are not being hired at enough of a clip in this industry. That is a macro problem. Now, if you show up with no pants to the interview and go, I didn't get hired because I'm Black, I can't prove like that was just a race thing. That's what we're trying to get to. And it's one of the reasons I don't really like talking about the shit, because you end up in these situations where we're all kind of having to project the information we don't have onto specific situations, which is why I like to rather talk macro, talk in general, and not get specifically about this one person's experience is valid or not valid, because I don't think you can even prove that. I try to be supportive and mind my business about their choices in professional settings. I tuck fat phobia under the very large discrimination umbrella that I quietly fight in hiring and reviewing performance. If I am on a hiring committee, I volunteer to provide the rubric. This forces folks to write down their rationales to create a paper trail for hiring decisions, but one little me isn't going to fix society. Yeah, I feel you. If asked, would you be a size 24 if you could gain weight? My answer is going to be no. I've been thin 98% of my life. The 2% was when I was a baby and a period when I was internally ill. At that time, about 3 adult years. I had gotten to a size 8 regular, 10 petite, and noticed a difference in treatment across the areas of my life. Then, before I never gave it a thought, it wasn't bad, just less accommodating. Who volunteers for treatment that is less favorable than what they're accustomed to? Instead, I constantly make an effort to stay in the body that's been the most beneficial to me, like getting an education, not having children, limiting my dairy intake. This is another thing that makes my life as easy as possible right now. To be clear, it isn't a health issue, it's pure convenience. Yeah, and then also, like, because of fat phobia, there's also this idea that people in a certain style of body, the certain fitting in between the medians, they're all healthy. They have no problems. They're all good.
Yeah, they be having high blood pressure, high cholesterol, all types of shit be happening in the
bodies. Like only fat people get the diabetes. Only fat people have cancer and smoking and all this shit. So you like a lot of the stuff is just us doing too much with too little. And I think I keep emphasizing that because it's not just something that there's too much assumption. it's and we're doing too much policing, trying to get to this hierarchy, this pyramid of only the people that are the most at the bottom can talk, and it's not true, because then we're actually undercutting how much of this is fat phobia and all these things are throughout our society.
Right.
We're making it seem like no, only this type of person has this problem. No, it was a bad look to me for people that claim to be like fat activists to shit on Taylor Swift for that part of the video where someone steps on the scale and looks down and just sees fat even though they're not fat. That was a bad look, because at the end of the day, that's actually part of what fat phobia is.
Yes.
It is this fear. And when you see somebody in a body like that, a lot of that is driven by fear. You know what I mean? And so it's them going like, I've internalized this too. I'm not saying we're equal. I'm not saying the world sees us as equal. I'm saying even the things that people would view as positive can come from a negative place inside of somebody.
Yes, they can.
And I'm saying in that way, I align with the struggle, even though I am not saying my experience in this struggle is the same as you.
Right. We're all being impacted by it.
But I think what in practice should have been unifying and understanding and bringing people in, like, yes, now how can you use your platform to advocate more? How can you do this, right? Instead, it turns into, we're shunning you, bitch. You're the opposite of us. Fuck you, bitch. And when you do that shit, I feel like it's not reflective of a healthy movement, and turns into the negativity that we experience in the opposite way. It's like, it's our turn to give back the ostracization and the bullying that we experience. I'm going to do it to you. And it's like, well, she's not participating in that bullying. And she's actually trying to say, I can relate to some extent to like this internal fucked upness from the pressure on the outside. And so in practice, a lot of times things end up not working out, and it's a lot of hurt people, you know. So I know why it doesn't work out, but so yeah. And as a fat person, I can be critical of those things. I can be honest about those things. I can be supportive to people that way, supportive to myself and stuff. But like I said, I don't like talking about it in public because it's too much projection, too many issues, and too much people assuming that you're going to say something or do something that you're not even saying, you know, or you're like trying to make people not be valid or something. It's like, that's not the goal. But anyway, so she says, another thing I noticed when my health was all straightened out, this is around the time where my friends were becoming significantly bigger than me at size 4. The quality of treatment changed when I was with women noticeably larger. That carries on today. It does not change who I socialize with or where I go. It's a reflection of society and can't impact my love for my friends. According to dictionary.com, an aversion to hostility or disdain for or fear of fatness and fat people. That's what fat phobia is. And according to fat phobia, measuring, understanding, and changing anti-fat attitudes, a pathological fear of fatness. Cheers, Miss Smart. She said, P.S. I might be at brunch when y'all do the show, so don't drag me too bad. I'll reply back. Why would we drag you? There's nothing to drag. You know, I mean, oh, okay, maybe because you're not fat and you're talking about something about fat people. I don't think we're that podcast that does that. You know, maybe that's what because I did ask her, because I genuinely was like, what? I don't feel like we're fighting. I don't feel like this is something that we were saying or advocating on the show. So I've never been on here like, man, these niggas need to just stop being fat. I don't talk like that. I don't hate myself. I don't hate being fat. It's not I don't feel like we're even the space to get upset by what you just said. But I do know there are spaces that are like, you know, if you're not fat, shut the fuck up. Don't even talk about it.
Right.
Hopefully I would hope we haven't fostered an environment that's like that. And at the same time, we're not entertaining the people that write in and be like, just lose some weight or put the pizza down, bitch, or whatever. Like, we don't do that. When we talk about Lizzo, we don't entertain that nonsense. the people that pretend it's about health but don't even know somebody's health to be talking like that.
Right.
So, like I said, I mostly just don't talk about it because I feel like it is a very triggering thing, and the society is very fat phobic, and we're all dealing with it in our own ways. And people assume a lot about us, everyone, looking on the outside and assuming what must be going on the inside, and we don't know, So that's one of the reasons I don't really like to talk about it. And like I said, there's people that look a certain way, and then you talk to them and they be like, man, I'm dealing with this issue and this issue and that issue. And it's like, yo, life ain't a crystal stair for nobody, All right, lastly, Linda says, Oscar host, you mentioned that it might be fun of an LGBT plus comedian hosted award shows, and I agree. I think a lot of people will watch the fuck out of Bianca Del Rio or Bob the Drag Queen hosting. They're funny as hell. Yeah, I think if you do that, you got to go with a very, like, a queer writing room. Like, you got to go all the way in with it. I feel like that shit would be the best one they've ever done. I'm surprised no one's tried this yet, but maybe I shouldn't be surprised because we still live in a world where, like, you can't be a leading man in Hollywood and be gay. So what the fuck do I know? You know what I mean? Like, I'm talking this pie in the sky shit, but it just seems like it would be a welcome acknowledgement to the fact that a lot of this pageantry is very, like, gay. Like, a lot of what makes the award shows great is gay. And it also would give people a chance that haven't had their voice out there. And like I said, selfishly or whatever, just pragmatically, as a society, we don't know how to handle gay people talking shit. So we just mostly let anybody that's LGBTQ say whatever the fuck they want.
Right.
And you need a little bit of that. Because what we have right now is the only people that can say whatever they want at these daises, at these shows, are white men. Straight white dudes are the only ones that get to get up there and be like, I don't care if y'all don't like me. I'm going to call everybody in here a name, and I'm going to say, fuck you all, and I'm going to make jokes. And if it bombs, good. I hope y'all are mad. I feel like that type of white male rage and entitlement is so unearned. Like, they have not lived in existence to be that rageful at the audience. It just comes off like a white man being mad at all the people in the audience. Whereas I think if you had somebody up there with the funny, biting, like queer comedy point of view, I feel like people would dig that and be like, you got us there. Because I know they're going to say a lot of shit about people being gay and the fact that gay people not being rewarded and awarded shit, and the discrimination that they faced in the industry. And I know there's a lot of material there. So I would like to see that too. And I'm surprised that we haven't yet.
They scared.
Yeah, they're probably scared.
Mm-hmm.
All right, tomorrow's guest at 10 a.m. Sunday will be Brandon Collins from Drunk Black History and Medium Popcorn. Make sure you guys show up to the Crowdcast for that. It's going to be a good time. That's it for today. Thank you for listening. Till next time, I love you.
I love you too.
Mwah. Bye, everybody. Have a good one. Peace.